What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out this tip from turningpointmusic.net. This is going to be part 2 of the fat kick tips, but this one is actually dealing with how to tie the bass line in with our new, now fatter kick drum. So coming back, here's where we were, and let's listen to where the kick was before the little bit of processing we did, and then I'll click these back on. So hopefully it's obvious that kick is a lot bigger and fatter and cutting through, but also has some oomph in the bottom. It sounds like it's in key with the song. So the next thing I want to do, whenever I'm listening to bass lines, especially if I have two, I really want to try to make an objective decision about, do I really need both of them? So I'll go and I'll mute either of them and just take a listen and think, well, are they really doing separate things? Do I really need both of them? In this case, to me, the answer is yes. I do feel like I want to keep both of them. Obviously, this guy here is playing a bigger role than this. But I think they're both overall relevant and contributing to the sound of the bass. So I want to think about EQing them maybe separately. I want to think about side chaining into the low. So with this one, it's really more the higher range or the lower mid-range that is making this relevant, is functioning in the mix. So I'm going to think about doing a high pass on this. But then thinking about our pitch to frequency mappings, I might push some tonics a little bit higher up, thinking about 78, 156. So I'm trying to exaggerate or accentuate what this was doing against the other one, but then letting this lower one handle the sub bass. So I'm going to option drag this EQ down, click on it, then factory default it. And now with this one, I might think about losing some of the higher sound. I mean, part of this is just a creative decision about how you want this to sound in the song, and part of it is going to be a more technical, functional decision. So that was really the more creative part of it. I wanted a little bit less of that boingy top, and that actually is letting this first bass line sit on top of that a little bit more and hear it. So this is becoming more of the low bass line, and this the higher of the bass lines. So then on this lower one, I could, if I want, even again think about pushing the tonic a little bit at 39. You don't have to, but you can try it out. If you do this, keep your eyes on the output of the plugin because you might make it clip. And if you do, just dial this back a little bit so you can avoid any digital distortion. So what we've really set up here is we have our kick, we have what's sort of a bass high and a bass low. And I'm going to sidechain, and I'm going to start out just sidechaining only into the bass low. If you think about sidechaining can be done for any number of reasons. It can be done as an effect, but when you're using it as a mix tool, really it's the idea is to make one element get out of the way for another element, and mostly we're worried about the low. When you have a sloppy, booming, muddy low, that's what sidechaining can help. So send your kick. I already have the sidechain set up, but let me reset it up here. So on the kick itself, I'm going to say go to some bus. I'll say bus 5, right click, rename, new kick chain. So then here, grab some compressor that you're comfortable with that has sidechain capability, key input capability. I'm using this just because it sounds good and it comes with Pro Tools. I'm going to turn everything off other than dynamics here. And then on the key input, I'm going to go grab bus new kick chain that I just made. Now I'm going to, under sidechain over here, make sure it's on key. Otherwise, it's not going to recognize that. Then go back to compressor. And we have this soloed. Let's leave it soloed for a minute. So the other thing I forgot to do here is turn up my new kick chain. I'm going to put it as a pre-fader send, and I'm going to just crank it. So you can see it definitely coming in now. Let's finesse this guy a little bit. I'm going to do a fast attack, a fast release. I'm going to have the depth off. In other words, the compressor's fully on. I'm going to soften up the knee. So my suggestion for this, when you're setting up a sidechain compressor, I like to listen to it soloed a little bit and then bring the kick in and listen to them together and get your final relationship between them. So how hard you want that sidechain to hit is, of course, a function of your taste in your track and the genre you're working in and everything else. But I like this idea of sometimes only sidechaining into the lower one, because then the higher one, which we've actually high passed, isn't ducking when the kick hits. Although, just try it out. I could just option drag this up here and see if I like that up there too. I like it better with this one off, and in fact, I'm going to open this up just a touch. So this is where we were. And I think that's really tied together a lot better and hitting a lot harder. Try it out.